In this episode, we want to design stair with its landing. Drawing stair with a landing is a bit different. Pay attention if you're even designing on a simple rectangle. The landing should be separated and we connect these both. Draw the parapet, and like this we have our stair in perspective. But how can we give it depth? So if you have a figure here, maybe a little bigger. And this is scale. Send it to this line. Just like that. Again, repeat the same thing here, parallel to that line, and repeat all of it here from the top side. Same thing. When we repeat it, it will look like this. We just need to draw the verticals and horizontal lines here. Like this, send it to the vanishing point. And as you can see, I'm doing it fast because in this angle, we can't do something super accurate. But in general, we can draw stairs like this. What if we look at a stair from the front? So we have something like that. We'll bring it to the middle of the page because this is important. So if we want to divide it like this, we have our rectangle, and at the middle we have our landing. The design in this one can be a bit difficult. Send the lines to the vanishing point. Here we are forced to connect the top one and design the upper part as well. So we get the second box. Now we connect the diameters when we have the middle. And as we have the middle, this part is about 2 times here. So as much as we go to the landing, 2 times of it will go to the other side. So this is the trick. Whatever distance that we have, we go 2 times on the opposite side. Connect it to the top. Go to the left side horizontally and go down vertically. From the front, we connect it to the back like that. So basically, it's in line with the vanishing point. We have a surface here like this, a rectangle. If we connect the lines from the end to the surface that we have, and from the surface to the front, basically we have the movement of our stair. And this is a surface in order to give our stairs detail. In order to design the parapet and draw the parapet, we consider a half of the height of our figure. In this part, same thing. We need to repeat the same process point to point, step by step. The height, half of it, again will be our parapet. So we have the height in each point and we connect all of them together. And just like that, we got a very elegant staircase, just like that. And as you can see, the lower surface can't be seen, so we make it darker. Cross the diameter again, get the middle, and for each one, just divide it, 1 by 1, vertical and horizontal. And for the upper part, we repeat the same process. And for the upper part, we can't see it very clearly, but we need to get the general shape for it. And each one of them can be our stairs. Because it's behind, we don't have to do a lot of details for it. But for the front one, we need to add more details in order for the viewer to understand what is happening here. Like this. And if we continue it, it could be a very interesting perspective. We could easily just continue this area in order to get a very different result from it. We do it now. Let's add some details to see how it will be with more details. So pay attention. As we show this space, our staircase can be seen much better. We can have the box for our furniture here, and as I said, 1/4 of the height of a person will be the seat. Send it to the vanishing point, and this is the box for our furniture. In front of it, another box, just like that. It's another furniture. And we have the two boxes here. We can add more details to it to have a really interesting perspective. In the examples that we will solve together, we will do this multiple times. But let's check to see if we have two-sided stair and how it will look like. I will check the difference between these two things with you guys, and if you liked it, we can try it out together. In order to understand the staircase, first we need to design the box in order to understand how it will look and how the movement will look like. The two sides will be our landing, and these two spaces are our landings. Now, in each side, the stair that will start, we show it like that, and we can show the movement of the stairs in this box. It can be started from one side, and we can have the slope like that, and we can connect it to the other side to have the second slope. And these lines for our parapet, you need to draw it in this manner in order to understand the concept of these two sides of the staircase. Because if you don't understand it correctly, for sure it won't look correct in your perspective as well. So we got it here, we rotate it, and we go up just like that. And as you can see, we can just add some wrinkle line in order to show our stairs. We don't pay too much attention to it. But now let's see how it will look like in our perspective. If we want to design the same thing in perspective, first we add a rectangle, we place a figure on top of it. We can divide it like that. Again, we need to design the box for it, and we need to know which side is entrance and which side is rotating. And this is the box that we have. We need to consider a place for its landing. So we need to place, and we need to show the space for the landing. And this is the area for our landing, just like that. This is the start for our stair. This is the middle, and the middle is considered the start for another one. This is the second half, which is going upwards, and we connect the lines just like that. These two together, and the up one, like that, to this. We have this slope. Again, half of the height of a person will be our parapet. Half of the parapet on the upper side Look how interesting it looks when we do it correctly. This is one of the difficult topics in sketching. Maybe understanding it in the beginning is a bit hard, but if you try to do it in box and in this manner and in this order, you will understand it much better. And if you practice a couple of times, you will master this. No problem. And you will apply everything that I said before for the lines, and lines are going to our vanishing point. And we make the bottom part darker to understand the stairs better. Like that. And as you can see, as we add stairs inside our design, basically you almost completed most of your design. Usually you place this type of step for big scale sketchings. We had two-sided staircase, a staircase with landing, a staircase like this, which goes up. There's a one-sided staircase and one-sided staircase which goes up, and smaller staircases inside our design. But sometimes we want to spend a lot of time on our stairs and design it with a lot of more details. The time that we do it with more details, for example, the staircase will take this much space in your sketching. Maybe the vertical side of this paper is for our staircase only. And for example, let's design a big scale staircase here together. And for that, we'll choose the end place of our space. This is the length of the space that we are designing. And if we have the vanishing point there, send our lines to the vanishing point, this time we are doing the opposite, because this is a big scale staircase. So we start from this, and we went there. In order for it to place all of it inside our paper, we connect two sides. This is for the times that we are designing staircases specifically. If we consider the height of a person, this much, half of it will be our parapet. So if the parapet is here, we can change the details a bit and make it look like that. Again, half of the height of a person will be this much, but this time we won't see it inside the paper. And like this, we can have a movement in our parapet. And we can repeat the same process on the right side as well. Or maybe we can consider a smaller parapet for this side for a reason. The upper side will be glass. So the bottom part is metal and the top one is glass. Till this height. Which the glass is connected to the metal, and we can divide it like that. In general, we can have a movement like this, and this is the basic for our stairs. Now let's draw each one of our stairs. We can do it with pencil to be easier, or just like this with a pen. One by one. Be patient with it. Drawing these lines is better to be with pencil, because later on we want to add details on it. And what detail, you ask? We don't want to design the front of the stair. We want to design the landing of the stair. Like this. The second one, give it a little thickness. And for the next one. Again, the thickness for a stair, as for this one by one, with the thicknesses. We draw them. And as much as we move forward and we move upper, you can't see the landing anymore. But here we see the bottom side and the bottom part of the stair instead of the top side. And as much as we move upwards, this will be more. Here we send the lines to the vanishing point. And as much as we move upwards, the bottom side of the stair can be seen better. So we have the stairs like this. We need to make these areas darker in order for the stairs to be seen better. You can add little hatchings underneath surfaces to make it better. If some lines are wrong, you can correct it. Because I'm teaching this in a weird angle to myself, sometimes the lines can be wrong. With it under surfaces, we can't see for the bottom ones. We can do a vertical hatching on the left side of this one to show the difference of the material and show the movement of our stair. When I'm sketching in my workplace or in university, I'm usually a little angled towards the desk. I'm not usually standing. This is straight. The angle that I have towards the desk is something like this. But because we're recording here, I have to do it straight like this. And that makes it a bit difficult. And as you can see, as we add hatchings on the left side, you can clearly see the movement and see the stairs. We just need to add a little color in order to show it better, which, to be honest, I wouldn't mind to do it. For the landing of these stairs to be seen better. And in general, this is one type of detail that we just added here. And as you can see, it's a zoomed in detail. Let's show the landing of this stair with a little color. Let's make the background a bit darker in order to show the detail in front of it better. Make sure when you use a normal paper, put another paper underneath it, because when you are using marker, color will pass down. But if you're using paper for markers specifically, it's more dense and it won't let color go through. But if you're not using that, make sure to place another paper underneath the paper that you're drawing on. So we did this. Now let's add some hatching in a place. For example, let's use CG number 3 to add a little highlight in front of these. The front area like that. And a bit of shadow on the left side here. Like this. Now let's move to this part. Add a bit of highlight on the edge. And underneath the guardrail, a bit of shadow as well, like this. The edge is a bit darker. Now, let's move to the glass. On the glass, we can use CG number 1. We don't want to use too much color on it. We can just use one color in order to finish the job. A bit reflection on the glass as well. And this is the end result. Which is very pleasant and interesting. And we were able to design something like this. We can place some greenery behind it. To show that something is happening behind these stairs as well, to give it some depth and dimension. And as you can see, as we add these next to each other, it looks much better. We can do something like this with a lot of detail, or something on the left side. In this one, I will try not to make it too detailed. But for this one, we have the landing of each stair. Let's do it with pencil. Why? Because one part is going more inside. And one by one, they are happening like this. And when we want to change it, we send it to the vanishing point one by one. The edges first. The surface is underneath, and if the backside can be seen, you can do it as well. So very simple and easy, you were able to design a highly detailed stair. And we can place a light for each stair here. And with a brush, you can show that the color is casting from this side. That there is a light on this stair. And let's add a bit of color on it as well. So sometimes when you're representing something, you want something with a lot of detail like this, or sometimes you want it with a smaller amount of detail. It all depends on the scale of your sketching. When your sketching is big and you're showing a lot of area, you can't do everything with this much detail. Sometimes you're designing something in a smaller scale, then you have to add a lot of detail. It all depends on the purpose of that design. Now let's move to the next topic, which is very interesting. But it could be a bit difficult. For rotating staircases, it's a bit difficult, but they look very good. I will try to explain it in easiest way and in a manner that you guys understand it. First, we will do it in principle and normative manner, and then we will do it the irregular way. First, we design the basic rectangle, like always. Connect the lines to the vanishing point and get the second one. So this is our cube. Now in this cube, we want to design 180-degree staircase, which is start from one side and end at another. We need to get the middle, send it to the vanishing point, which is middle to middle, gladly. And we add a half a circle like that. Now, connect the beginning to the end like this, these two together. And here, we need to show that this place is a middle. This is up and this is down. And as you can see, the second circle is forming. And on the bottom side, like that. So this is a plan and second floor. Get the middle, and with another slope and a curved line, we connect it like that. And this is rotating and connecting to the bottom one. For the back side, same story. Goes to the middle and comes back like that. Half of the height of a person will be our parapet. Here, the same thing, the parapet on the top side as well. Add this as second curved line for the parapet. Again, another one for the other parapet. If you consider this axis as a middle axis, we need to design each stair considering that middle axis one by one. This is one way to do it, which is one by one. We can do them close to each other and not necessarily super correctly. And because it's a staircase that is rotating, we want to show it by adding some highlights underneath this surface. And it will highlight to the middle parts as well. And we have this curved staircase like this. But a very interesting thing that we have in designing something like this is we have a simpler way to do it as well. This is an uncommon way to do it, but it's much simpler, which I tested in most of the spaces and it usually works. So basically you can consider it as a shortcut for this type of design. We divide it by 3 parts, this rectangle that we have. So we have the dots. If you show the middle, like that, move it a little bit outside. From this side, we connect the curved line like that. The height of the parapet, all of them are same length basically. Parallel to the curved line that we did before, we have them, and like that, our staircase is rotating upwards just like that. And you need to design and add each stairs one by one. And because the scale of it is very small, we can't do it very correctly. This will give the same result to you guys, which is divisions. If you work with it, you can get exactly the same result as before. So we were able to use this technique and the other technique in order to create a staircase like this. And you can consider one point as your vanishing point to design the rest of it. And as we add the highlights here and add some read-through colors, the viewer can understand what is happening here much better. And as you can see, we're able to get a very good design by just using that simple technique. We could add a greenery, a lot of details next to it as well. And the items and the details that we're adding here will shape our design. We can give depth to the inner parts as well. For example, the area that we have back there, open it a little bit, use the same vanishing point, and design the rest of this area. Very simple, like this. The second floor, maybe hang some chandeliers. If you repeat the same process a couple of times, you will understand that you can show your idea very simply and very easily, but just using a couple of techniques together to get an end result like this. I taught the first technique to my students for many years, but after a while, I found that this simpler technique could be used to achieve the same result, but with less effort. And as you can see, as we are doing this, and as we're adding details, we're understanding what's happening here, and the design is getting its own personality. And we can create different depth in this design. In the area that we're adding samples, I would like to give a couple of samples and to show you guys what is happening there, and in order for us to experience that together. We can add a piano or a furniture here as well. Look, very easily and very simple, we were able to design with one-point perspective. And for sure we will try to have the same experience and experience different type of thing in one-point perspective, and use different type of detail, zoomed in detail, or something like this. In one-point perspective, which is from two sides or one side with rotating staircase, in order to design a staircase which is fully rounded, we need to repeat the same process 2 times. So if I have the movement here, we need to repeat it 2 times in order to have the staircase, which is rotating 360-degree angle. We design 2 boxes. One will be the bottom part, and the second one on top of it, and the divisions like this. Movement like that from the bottom, and on top like that. A movement like this, and at the bottom like this. And as we put these together, you have your 30-60-degree angle. I will try to design similar thing for you guys in the future so we experience it together.